Once upon a time, there lived a tortoise named Ehi. Ehi was a very lazy and cunning tortoise. He was known for his trickish and deceptive arts, and because of that, he decided to move to another village where he has not yet been discovered. One day, when Ehi was walking around in his new village, he saw a group of birds eating and drinking. He hid himself behind the mango tree and quietly observed them. He found out that they had plenty of food, and his greedy eyes could not let go of the food. Ehi hates to work and would prefer to eat where he did not plant. The next day, the tortoise came to the same spot and found out that the birds were eating again. This time, he decided to approach the birds. He told them that he was hungry and had not eaten in days. The birds felt pity and decided to give him some food. He ate as much as he could and pleaded with the birds to give him some to take home. They agreed and showed him kindness. When the tortoise was about leaving, he asked the bird where they had gotten all the food from, and the bird started smiling and laughing. One of the birds told him that every planting season, they normally give some seeds, which was gathered from the previous season. Then they will take it to the bird kingdom known as Ekwafiame. They will be planted and harvested at the appropriate time. He further told the tortoise that it was harvest season, and that is why the tortoise saw them eating and drinking. The tortoise was amazed and asked the bird to show him where he had kept the harvest. "We do not keep the harvest in our nest. It is in the kingdom," one of the birds replied. The tortoise begged them to take him to the bird kingdom so he could take some to his family. In return, he will do anything the birds want him to do. The birds felt pity and told him that they would have loved to help him, but the tortoise does not have wings to fly up in the sky. Tintu, one of the birds, said, "Perhaps there is a solution. We could donate a feather each for him." The birds were surprised and they all agreed. They asked Ehi to come to the same spot the following day before the cock crowed, which he did. The kind bird plucked out a feather each and attached it to the tortoise. The tortoise was so happy as he could fly up in the sky. On getting to Ekwafiame, the gatekeeper asked for their names. The first bird said his name was Akugam. The gatekeeper let him in. The second bird said his name was Ahiepe and was also allowed inside. The third bird said his name was Ohwe and was also allowed inside. All the birds said their names and they were allowed to come inside. When he got to the tortoise's turn, he said his name was All of You. The gatekeeper was surprised, but also let the tortoise in. Now, when it was time to share the food, the birds were seated together as that was the tradition. So they invited the tortoise to sit with them as they had considered him one of them. Their portion of the harvest for the day, which consists of food, palm wine, kola nuts, and many others, were brought to their table, and the bird in charge of the food said, "Take this, it's for all of you to share," and it was left on their table. The birds went to the dance floor to dance, leaving the food behind as it was meant to be taken home. But on returning from the dance floor, they were shocked to find out that the tortoise had drunk and ate everything. They asked why he did that, and he said, "The food was for all of you, and my name is All of You, which means it belongs to me." The birds were confused, and they decided to forgive the tortoise, and they all flew back home that day. The second day came, and they also helped the tortoise out of kindness and flew to Ekwafiame. When they got there, the tortoise did the same thing he had done the previous day, claiming the harvest was for him as his name was All of You. He did this for weeks, and the birds were fed up. because they were eating his leftovers, which was barely enough. Ohwe, one of the birds, decided to hold a secret meeting with the other birds. He talked about how they were going to teach the tortoise a lesson. Ohwe, who had recently found out about the true nature of the tortoise from a rabbit from the village the tortoise came from. And so he encouraged the other birds to do something about it, and they all agreed. The next day, all the birds and the tortoise embarked on a journey to Ekwafiame. They got there. They asked the bird sharing the food to double their ration for the day, which he did and placed on their table. The greedy tortoise could not resist. He ate every food and drank the drinks and was overfed to the extent he could not even walk properly, let alone fly. He begged the birds to help him fly back to the forest, and they told him that they will help him. But we have to fly back to the forest and place a bed on the floor. So when you fly down, you won't hurt yourself and you will land safely, one of the birds said. The tortoise was happy as he thought he had fooled them once again. The bird flew to the forest and arranged a landing area for the tortoise, but they never had an intention of providing a bed, and rather they placed pieces of broken bottles, glasses, and other hard objects on the ground. One of them flew back to the tortoise and told him it was time to jump. The tortoise jumped in excitement, but he landed on the glass and cracked his shell. He cried and cried and cried, and instantly started regretting every deceptive thing he had done and asked all of them for forgiveness.